Students, can you all rise for the next activities? Thank for those of you who have come from the remote places up in the highlands. I know that I saw Master Robesi here this morning from the upper reaches of Navosa. Some of us are in the upper reaches of Ra and in the Nosori Islands. It is a pleasure and an honor to have you all here in
providing standardized exams for our children, and many more you will hear from our minister. This workshop eventuated to a vigorous consultation by the Executive Support Unit, with me as the National President of Fiji Headteachers Association.
Why this presentation to you? Because you are the most important person in terms of the deliverables that we are after. And therefore, we want you to have full understanding of what we are doing. These issues have been highlighted by a number of people, number of stakeholders in number of forums, universities included. Well, the primary objective was to inform and discuss with the heads of schools, the head teachers and principals, about reforms that we are undertaking. The heads of schools and head teachers and principals are our soldiers on the ground. They are our operational people, and they must understand the reform, the origin of the reform, why reform, and what needs to be done by them and the school teachers. So it is for this reason that we are holding these 3 forums, one in the Western Division, one in the Southern Division on Saturday, and one in the Northern Division, is to basically tell them what is the status of the education system, particularly the primary and secondary school system, and what we want to do with regard to that particular status, and what we expect from them and the teachers. It will be difficult to talk to close to the 10,000 teachers we have on the ground. So we thought that when we have them having full ownership of the reforms, they can go to their schools and talk to the teachers. That's the primary objective of this forum. The heads of various sections, for example, the finance section head, what he expects from the teachers and heads of schools. We had our HR director. He presented about his expectation with respect to some of the problems that he is encountering. We had our director primary, director secondary, and the director of the asset and monitoring section about infrastructure and school buildings, etc. So this was an opportunity that we organized for them to tell them what is the expectation of the respective section heads from the heads of schools, the principals and head teachers. I mean, it's important that every member of our education community understand the reforms, take ownership of it in order for it to be successful. We are concerned about the performance of our students in the primary and secondary schools. I presented the data over the last 6 years data showing the performance of students in different subjects, and following that I then identified what are the causes of it, and then presented to them what we are doing or implementing to deal with those issues that are resulting in that declining performance. So that is something that we're quite worried about, the declining performance, and we now at this early stage on the week 2, 3, we are meeting them and saying these are the things that we need to do to arrest the declining performance of students in our primary and secondary schools. But then after this, we will have different ways of meeting them and talking to them. There will be different forums where we'll be talking about these things. And we have also set up a system of monitoring these performances. That is again a means of reaching out to them and saying, hey, what's happening? Are you doing these things? Can you give us a feedback? on end of term 1, end of term 2. There are certain things they need to do in term 3. For example, the revision schedule that you are developing. So these kind of things will culminate into the final exam, and that's where we need to ensure that performance is, and there's a demonstration of marked improvement in performance.